Modern science sees only an unconnected universe, with planets, stars, and galaxies separated by empty space. This unconnectedness has led to the inevitable conclusion that the bodies in space are lifeless. Science denies even the possibility that the objects we see in space could be alive and intelligent. Dr. Michael Claridge of the Sapphire Project explains.
The idea that life or intelligence would be attached to a planet or a star was too much for our consciousness, so we denied its possibility.
According to Dr. Claridge, there is no scientific basis for such denial. Denial without evidence, in fact, is contrary to the scientific method.
There was never any evidence to substantiate that denial. And I don't need to tell the people in this room that denying a star could be alive is a misuse of the scientific method.
In today's cosmology, everything is dead. Until this absurd denial is cast aside, there will be no progress.
The cosmology that we grew up with is dead. And I don't mean dead as in over with. I mean it only talks about dead things. Stars are supposedly dead. Galaxies are supposedly dead. The whole universe is supposedly dead. And only you and I are alive. Only you and I. The profoundness of this absurdity needs to be re-examined. Astrophysics will be stuck until it can acknowledge that the objects it studies are alive, just like you and me.
New images from space belie the premise of an unconnected and lifeless universe. Indeed, the structures and processes found in biological systems are found in space as well.
As we collect more and more data from ever more awesome telescopes, there's a notable confusion if we are looking at biological images or astronomical images. One of these is a micrograph of a cell. One of these is new data from the interstellar medium. Same. One from the interstellar medium, one from the world of cells. Same thing, interstellar medium, world of cells. This is my favorite. Two of those are from the world of biology, two are views of something going on in our galaxy. So this is not an accident that they look the same, and it's not an artifact of our instruments. The reason these two worlds look so similar is because in many ways they are similar. We live in a living universe.
Biological systems themselves are intelligent down to the cellular level. Biological processes are purposeful and orchestrated and cannot be the result of random, unorganized forces.
This is an image of an animal cell, and it's what you would see with your eyes, with visible light. And when I was young, I was told that all those little functional pieces, mitochondria and the Golgi apparatus and the lysosomes and all those functional pieces, I was told that they float around randomly in an unorganized sack of water. And it was assumed that random purposeless motions were somehow accomplishing all the required millions of complex biochemical reactions for cellular life. For example, if new amino acids came in from the right-hand side of the cell, but they were needed on the left-hand side to do something, that somehow they would just meander over to where they are needed. And it was actually known that random diffusion was about 1 million times too slow to account for the speed of biochemical reactions, but it was forbidden to propose any model where the cell actually knew what it was doing and why it was doing it. Then, in the 90s, we developed fluorescent dyes to attach to a different set of biological molecules than we could see before, and that's what the cell looked like. I was in graduate school when this work was being done at a different place, and everybody is like, what are we looking at, right? And then after just a few years of research, we uncovered that these different filaments on the right-hand side, they're actually holding together all the pieces of the cell and moving all the pieces of the cell around. And by watching further, we could see that raw materials like amino acids or whatnot When they're brought into the cells, they're packaged together and they are brought to where they are needed by the cell. And so this is an example, computer animation. But I remember vividly when we started to see the movies that this is based upon, the data, and it just changed everything about how we understand how cells work. So in other words, the entire description of life at the cellular level was turned on its head, and what was assumed to be random and purposeless, we could now see was a carefully orchestrated and purposeful activity. And just to be clear, the old view that cells could function through random motions of molecules, that theory was never proven, and in fact, all the evidence we had said that it couldn't actually work. But the random model was vigorously defended for years since, well, it's assumed we live in a random, purposeless universe. And it took the invention of new microscopic techniques for the diffusion model to be proven false. In other words, we had to see it with our own eyes.
The gospel of Jesus Christ embraces panpsychism, where all nature is alive, intelligent, and purposeful.